everyone, it's Natasha Buluifa from penpatpurpose.com with the next installment in this month's SyncUP series, Renew. Today's segment is titled Body Betrayal. For the next few minutes, we're going to be syncing up with God about how a relationship with Jesus can renew the body. Our key text for today is Mark chapter 5, verses 33 through 34. So, I hate being sick. I mean, really, I do. I hate being in bed all day. I hate taking meds that make me so drowsy I can't think straight. I hate having my activities restricted. I hate feeling like my body has betrayed me. But what if your body betrayed you for 12 years? And on top of that, there was something you or any doctor could do about it. Well, that's kind of our topic for today. And once again, our story begins with another boat trip. So, Jesus had just been asked to leave Gerasenes, because of that whole drowning pig situation. We talked about it last week's SyncUP. Well, he crosses back over the Sea of Galilee, and of course, a big crowd meets him there. But out of the crowd emerges one of the rulers of the synagogue named Jairus. Now, you may be thinking, oh boy, here comes the persecution. But not this time. See, he didn't come to persecute Jesus. Rather, he falls at Jesus' feet and begs him to come and lay hands on his dying daughter to heal her. So Jesus immediately starts following Jairus, and the crowd immediately starts following Jesus. I mean, witnessing a Jesus miracle firsthand was pretty exciting back then. Well, anyway, the crowd is huge, but there's someone in the crowd who's not there to witness him healing Jairus' daughter. There is a woman lurking in the crowd. Now, let me tell you a little bit about her. Her body was diseased. She had been bleeding for 12 years straight. You may be wondering, what's the big deal about that? Women bleed all the time. Yeah, that's true, but not for 12 years straight, and here's why. Bleeding for that length of time can cause extreme fatigue, cramps, dehydration, and the sanitary standards and technology back then, probably more exposure to more infections. But that's not even it. The big deal were the social ramifications. Leviticus chapter 15, verses 19 through 33 outlines all the ancient Jewish rules about menstruation. You see, a menstruating woman was considered ceremonially unclean, which means that she couldn't, during her menstruation period, she could not participate in any worship activities, events, or services. Now, these events and services were frequent, not just a once per week type of thing, so the result was exclusion. They even had a word for menstruating women. They called them nida, which means one who is excluded. Get the picture. Anyone who even touched a nida was unclean. If you touch anything that she sits or lies on, you're unclean. If she was married and her husband had sex with her, he was unclean. You get the point. Total social exclusion. Now, no one back then was taking any chances for being unclean. So this woman not only suffered from 12 years of straight bleeding, she also suffered from 12 years of soul-crushing isolation from her friends and family. So anyway, she tried to make herself better. She let physicians try all sorts of painful procedures on her. Nothing. She spent all her money on cures. Nothing. In fact, she actually didn't get better. She got worse. So, lo and behold, 12 years later, she hears reports about Jesus. Now, he had, up until this time, his ministry had already healed demon-possessed people, lepers, a man with a withered hand, Simon's mother-in-law, and hordes of other sick people that people were just bringing to him. Anyway, she's in the crowd thinking, if I can just touch his garment, I will be healed. Now, this is interesting. You see, Jesus had touched a lot of people that he healed. The leper, Simon's mother-in-law, the demon-possessed people. He just told his demons to get out. But anyway, there were a lot of people with disease of the body that he had actually touched to heal. I mean, even Jairus, the guy he's actually following at this time to heal his daughter, asks him to come and lay hands on his daughter to heal her. But anyway, surely the woman heard about this in her reports, that he would touch the sick. But she had so much hope in just her touching his garments. Why? Now, it could be that she was afraid that if she touched him, Jesus would get really mad at her for making him unclean, according to, the Leviticus rules. And I mean, let's face it, that's how everyone else would have treated her for the last 12 years, so no wonder she thought that way. But I think we find the real answer in our key verse, so let's hurry up and get there. So she touches his garment in the crowd, right? And immediately stops bleeding. For the first time in 12 years. Jesus, at the same time, immediately felt power leave him and asked, "Who touched my garments?" The disciples are like, "Dude, are you kidding? Look at all these people. How can you even ask who touched your garments?" And that's what brings us to our key verse, Mark chapter 5, verses 33 through 34, which I'll read to you now. But the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." You see, the reason she had so much hope in just touching Jesus' garments rather than him touching her is because she had strong faith. She actually believed who Jesus was and was fully convinced that he held the healing power of God. Well, because he was God. Anyway, she believed that even his garments were endowed with power. She had faith in who Jesus was, and that's what healed her. Now, it wasn't always this way. For so long, she had put her faith in doctors, medicines, tonics, and who knows what else, and nothing. Then she finally puts her faith in the right place, in Jesus, and receives his power and was healed. Now, let me clarify something very important. Putting faith in Jesus gives us access to his power. Sometimes that power is for renewing our body for healing. Other times, it can be for renewing our body to endure our illness and our trials. The point is, regardless of which way it goes, putting faith in his power never fails. I'll end with this week's words for syncing, which is really straight and simple. Faith is the best medicine that we all too often go to last. Now, take some time during your day and reflect on the Think a Little Deeper questions posted below this video. And don't be shy, be heard. Share your reflections by posting a comment. Well, that's all my time for today, everyone. Until next time, remember, do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. Bye for now, everyone.